It's morning time at my campsite in the Mamores and the brown dog has started to bark. I'm going to show you how to take a shit in the outdoors without leaving a trace. As you can see, it's quite stony ground round about here. So what I'm not going to do is flip over one of these rocks and shit underneath it. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because this is quite a popular campsite by the looks of it. And people are moving these rocks about all the time to secure their pegs in the shallow soil. Now there's nothing worse than flipping a rock and finding out that someone has flipped it before and there's a decomposing jobby and soggy toilet paper underneath. So I am not going to leave a booby trap like that for the next inhabitant of this site. I've come a little distance from the tent to find what I hope is some slightly deeper soil. And into that soil I'm going to dig a little hole. I've found a spot where I think the turf's a bit thicker, so I'm going to have a dig into this with my Kevlar spade. I'm going to use a kind of sawing motion to cut through any roots, and I'm also aiming to have a kind of slightly conical plug that's easy to pull out. So let's have a dig. Tough ground. The ground was just too tough over there, so I've shifted locations. Hopefully get a better dig here. Right, I've got my turf out. Right, you can see now I've unturfed a small hole. Clearly that's not quite big enough, so I'm going to excavate a bit more out. There we go. That's a nice wee hole. I've removed some earth and stones approximately equal in volume to the jobby I expect to do. So now let's get that hole filled. I'm now in position over my hole and I'm going to start to uncurl this beast. So in a nice relaxed squat, no straining, just letting it slip out quite nicely. Yep, that's slipping now. Still going. Basically one continuous smooth evacuation. Just getting to that problematic bit at the end. Is it going to drop? I'm just opening and closing my sphincter to try and snip it off. But yeah, I think we're good on that. Let's turn round and see what we've produced. Well, as you can see, my placement wasn't quite perfect. It's sitting on the lip of the hole, so that's easy to push in. So we'll give this a wee nudge with the spade. That's it, where it should be, safely in its hole. So that was a pretty clean wipe. You can see now I've put the toilet paper in the hole, and I'm going to burn this off now using my Soto torch lighter, which is by far the best toilet paper burning implement I've found. Now it's important to note that I wouldn't be doing this if it was high fire risk conditions. If it was high fire risk, I would pack it out, but I do enjoy burning off my toilet paper, and the reason I do it is because sometimes foxes can come along and dig up your poo, and if they do, they'll then leave your toilet paper scattered about, so you can have done what you thought was a perfect job, concealing your jobby and toilet paper beneath the ground, and then a fox comes and leaves it festooned all over the place. So you can see there, let's go and mop up those last little bits. There we go. And now for the final part of the operation, I'm going to take my plug of turf, and you can see now why it was important to excavate that extra dirt, because that was a decent sized jobby, and if this plug was exactly the same size as the hole, it could come squirting out the sides. So that's my turf back in again. I'm going to give that a stomp in. There we go, impeccable, no trace remaining. I scattered away that excess spoil, so that's not an obvious man-made intrusion. So that's how to do a shit outdoors while leaving no trace whatsoever for the next person to come along. That's all from me, folks. See you next time for more outdoor shitting.